Okay, so the way this works is that I am going to take your requests in the chat. Instead of an AMA, which is Ask Me Anything, it's DMA, it's Draw Me Anything. So I'm going to be talking to you, but while I'm drawing. So I want you to put some requests of things that you would like me to see drawn in the chat, and I will draw them live for you here in my studio. I'm at my drawing board right now. This is where I make these books and do my cartoons for my Substack, New York Cartoons. Um, I really enjoy doing this because I get to meet some of you, get to actually talk to some of you, but also I draw things that I wouldn't ordinarily get to sketch. So this is paper that I recycle, by the way. This is my big sheet of newsprint. I used to draw all over the newspaper as a kid, and sort of copy out the comic strips and all that sort of stuff. And I always think newsprint is a really nice surface to sketch on. So I have the laptop just in front of me, so I can see your comments as they're coming in. So who would like to be the first to make a request? Ah, here it is. Ina. Okay. Ina, an anteater trying to eat ants. The ants are fighting back. All right, this is great. I love anything with a narrative in it. Um, this is Ina. Uh, I know you is a cartoonist in her own right. Thank you for this first suggestion. These I try and make them as quick and simple as possible. But if there's a story, I really want to sell the gag, sell the idea. I think ants have 6 legs, right? They're insects, so they're not arachnids. So they have these big. All right, and anteaters are the most ridiculous looking creatures on Earth, next to like platypuses and um, actually, that's maybe the only other thing that looks as ridiculous. Uh, Here are some ants staving off an attack from an ant eater. Maybe this ant eater needs to go vegan or something. I mean, he's doesn't look like he's going to get very far. This is the ant hill in the background with all of the friends coming to assist in this battle against the ant eater. They really do look ridiculous. Um, okay, that's our first cab off the rank. This is great. It's a good start. Anteater trying to eat ants, ants fighting back. Thank you, Ina. That's a good start. Bob, hello, Bob. We have Bob Sassoon here. I've been reading your chapters each uh, each month. Bob has requested, how about something with that Dan Druff guy? Maybe he's watching you draw. Okay, well, this is a reference to the fact that if any of you ever saw that Selsun Blue commercial years ago that was running pretty much on every station between every game, um, there was a guy in the Selsun Blue commercial who was playing the human embodiment of dandruff. I'm afraid to say that was me. I used to do commercials and yeah, I used to be dandruff. I bleached my eyebrows and my hair. You couldn't recognize me at all. I played a super annoying character, so it was a real stretch. Obviously, I had to basically interrupt this guy's date and his entire life as it happened. There was a series of them, by just being dandruff and ruining his life. I had this ridiculous, like, I don't want to say pompadour. It was like it was a ridiculous puff of hair. What happened is when you bleach your hair, as some of you know, it kills the hair. You kill the hair. And what happened was the night before it kind of looked normal, but then when I woke up the next morning, it had all puffed into this sort of giant white cloud. So we had one day to shoot this commercial before my hair basically started falling out. My hair started going gray right after this. So I was also about 20 pounds heavier. I was like 10 kilos heavier. So I also looked a bit different than I do now. I was wearing a white suit, which is insane, with like a vest. I was uh, I was ruining the life of a poor guy named Carl. Um, and yeah, you can look it up. If you look up YouTube, Selsun Blue, or just Jason Chatfield commercial reel, you can see my ridiculous faith. I did a bunch of commercials, and then unfortunately my agent died. He was a really good guy, Sandy Gunner. He died of COVID in the pandemic, and before he had the opportunity to get the yeah, I know, sad, right? Before he had the opportunity to get the vaccine, unfortunately, he was intubated, and then 11 days later, he was gone. So I haven't done any acting since then. I haven't. Yeah, I kind of stopped after that. I feel weird doing it again without him. He was a great agent. Got me a lot of great stuff. I was on a TV show on the Food Network as a host and a judge with the cake boss, Buddy Velastro. That was really fun. And Sandy would come to set and make sure I had everything I needed. Yeah, he was a great guy. Um, anyway, sorry, getting bad. Sad topic. Yes, so that was me. This is what I looked like as Dan Driff. That's another lifetime I get. Thank you for the suggestion, Bob. Love your work. Bob's a great writer, by the way. You should subscribe to him. Okay. Also, Bucky, thanks for calling me Dog Boy. Wait, that's a nice little, nice little nickname I now have. A rhinoceros out skeet shooting with a raccoon. Wow, Curtis Gallagher. That's every week, Curtis. You come up with something interesting. Okay, so it's a rhinoceros. He's skeet shooting with a raccoon. Okay. I mean, I imagine a rhinoceros would find it pretty hard to hold a one of those pump action or one of those rifles. But let's see. Those giant fingernails of theirs. Okay, this is the rhino, and he's skeet shooting with a what is skeet? What is a skeet? When it flings that plate thing, what is the is it made of like porcelain or something? Never knew what that was. Um, educate me in the chat, skeet shooters. I have to admit, I can't really look at Rhinoceri the same way after Ace Ventura 2. If you know the scene, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to describe it. But yeah, this is. By the way, Bucky, I'm glad you're here. I know you've been wanting to join and watch one of these for a while. So, Bucky Jones, thank you for tuning in. I want you to make a suggestion now. So, think about what you want me to draw and keep it clean, please, and apolitical if you can. Okay, now here's the raccoon. I like these. Mad Scott, a bunny trying to pay his child support. Geez, these are really specific. It's really specific. Oh my god. I mean, keep them coming. They're great. A bunny trying to. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The event tomorrow night is going to be really fun. The AKC Museum of the Dog. Scott and I went last night to take a look at the venue and just check out the space, and it is incredible. It's a museum just dedicated to dogs, and it's nothing but dog paintings and sculptures and training stuff, and there's a whole bunch of merch. It's one of the coolest places I've ever seen in New York City. It's truly it's like the Met but dogs. So I mean, shut up and take my money, right? It's incredible. I highly recommend it if you're in New York, if you're visiting or if you live here. It's one of the it's one of the new must see places, and it's on 40th corner of 40th and Park Avenue. I highly recommend it because yeah, anything to do with dogs and I mean, dogs in New York in particular. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, 6 p.m. tomorrow night, we're doing the book launch there. We are gonna fill the place up with people and their dogs, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I haven't actually done any book signing with signing dogs with drawing people's dogs before, live. So that's going to be really interesting. Sometimes I go to Madison Square Park, the dog park there, because the Madison Square Conservancy have something called Bark in the Park, which is something they do in summer where I go and draw people's dogs, um, in the park, and it's great. Rhinos always have those little birds on them, don't they? Those little birds that clean themselves or clean the rhino horn. Pretty sure that's what they do. There you go. There's a rhinoceros skeet shooting with a raccoon. I mean, it's very specific, but you asked for it. This is Uh, 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 it is clay. Yeah, I thought. I mean, I thought it was clay shooting, right? So they're clay plates. All right. A bun. This is it's a very very sad one. I guess he would have to be doing something to make money to pay his child support. I was drawing bunnies, by the way, uh, for the so not like this. I was drawing bunnies for kids with like a spring theme at Bellevue Hospital on Saturday, and the kids was so funny because I was drawing like Bugs Bunny and other rabbit characters and stuff like that, and they're all just like they're completely obsessed with all these video game characters, and they wanted me to draw like all of these things from Twitch, and I'm like, I've never felt so old. I didn't know anything they were talking about. I'm like, hey, what about Bugs Bunny? They're like, hey, how about this character from this game you've never heard of? Um, okay, so what would a bunny rabbit? Sorry, the camera paused for a second there. Can you see me, guys? Can you see me? Um, sorry, my camera just paused there for a second. I hope everyone can see me. I'm just going to put my phone on do not disturb just in case that happens again. Sorry about that. What would a rabbit be doing to make enough money to pay his child support? First of all, I know that rabbits, it's probably a um, pretty hefty bill since rabbits are prolific in their procreating. Um, so maybe instead of going to well, there's no other way to say it really, sperm bank, maybe he's selling his eggs. Maybe it's the Easter Bunny selling all of his Easter eggs at an egg bank, uh, a fertility clinic or something, to try and make enough money to cover his child support for the month. I mean, you know, obviously rabbits don't lay eggs, but the Easter Bunny has plenty of eggs. I don't actually know where he's getting those eggs, by the way. Where's the he's getting his eggs? They're very expensive. It'd be cheaper to just hand out Rolexes at this point. Here we go. It was actually a cartoon that Scott and I pitched to the New Yorker as a daily cartoon. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but unfortunately, it didn't get up. Here we go. There's a bunny rabbit trying to pay his child support. Oh yeah, could do DoorDash. It's a good point. A rabbit could do DoorDash to make some money for his child support. That's true. That is another specialty. Okay. Unfired clay that breaks down in water. Thank you for educating me on that. Okay. We have time for two more. We have time for only two more requests. We've got 89 people in today. This is crazy. Thank you very much for joining. Some of the people who have joined, I'm fans of you. It's really nerve wracking to to draw for you. Brad Geiger and Susan Kane and Bob and everyone here. It's really cool to have you all in here. So thank you for joining. I do this every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I just take requests. I am going to quickly draw a dog just because I want you to know that these little dog sketches I can actually do in the book. So if you like, if you buy a copy of You're Not a Real Dog Owner Until, um, which you can do online at realdogowner.com, I will draw your dog right here on the flyleaf of the book. Um, and you can send me a photo of your dog to work from if you like. That's an option. And yeah, and I'll put a link in the chat right here if you would like a copy, like a hand signed copy of the. Here we go. There's the link in the chat. Yeah, it's one of those little value add things that I'd like to be able to do. And if you have any number of dogs, I can draw them into the book for you in pencil as a little sketch. But I do love drawing dogs. This is something that I wanted to sort of really cover today, is the fact that over the course of those sort of 9 to 12 months, I ended up drawing so many different dog breeds. I learned how to draw all these different dogs. I went through the top 58 American Kennel Club dog breeds, the funniest sort of images of them. I tried to really elevate how the poses and some of the things they were doing, and it was really fun. I mean, the whole thing was just like um, yeah, it was like a really fun little exercise to I don't know, just get better at drawing animals that I like drawing. If I could just draw dogs for the rest of my life, I think I'd actually be happy. I think I'd actually be totally fine. I remember Patrick McDonnell, who does a comic strip called Mutts. I don't know if you guys have read Mutts. I'm certainly a big fan of Mutts. That was one of the strips that I studied when I was learning how to draw dogs and how to, I don't know, how to capture the energy of a dog. George Booth, I studied a lot of his work. I studied, yeah, Brian, Red and Rover, the comic strip, Red and Rover. Read a lot of that. Um, William Steig. Yeah, it was like a lot of research of like trying to draw dogs. And anyway, Patrick McDonnell was teaching a bunch of cartoonists at the National Cartoonist Society convention when we were in Kansas City, Missouri, in 2022. He was saying that when he draws dogs and he doesn't want to draw he just does this thing where he'll draw the dog and then and he's very like minimalist about it. You know, he's such a good artist. He can just capture a dog in like 3 lines. And draw the feet. He just does grass like this. That way he gets out of having to draw feet and paws. It's a good little hack. Um, Everyone was taking notes. Even Jim Davis was in the room. The guy who does Garfield, he was making notes. Okay, so yes, Get Fuzzy is great. Satchel was a good dog. Okay, so I have time for one more cartoon, one more request. So put your requests in the chat. And one last plug for the book. If you wanna order this book for a friend or for yourself, it's just realdogowner.com. And if you want a signed copy, the link, share that with you. Finally, been working on it for so long that I can finally, the NDA is lifted. I can finally talk about it. It is strange, the delayed gratification of doing a book where you spend so much time on it all day, every day, and then as soon as it comes out, it's been like 12 months since you turned it in, and you have to sort of get excited about it again. But I am excited about it. It's fun. I'm excited to be able to finally share it with everybody. Um, yeah, and I do love drawing dogs. I'm excited about the launch tomorrow. And yeah, and seeing all the reviews have been really nice. We just checked Amazon this morning and Goodreads and BookBub, and everyone's enjoying the book, which is fantastic. It's always nice to get good feedback when you've been working hard on something and trying to perfect it. We did put a lot of work into this book, so I'm really glad that it came out okay. All right, so the last journal, Caption Journal. Okay, Caption Journal has requested otter skydiving. Strap in. Okay, an otter skydiving. So obviously the otter would have the goggles on, I've actually skydived before. I've jumped out of a plane because I'm an idiot. And man, it is terrifying. The thing they never really talk about is how your ears pop and they really hurt. So it's one of those things that like you just have to kind of deal with and like try and pop your ears because of the altitude changing so dramatically. Um, I always, you know what? I always mix up otters and beavers, but they both have funny teeth. So, so whatever. All right. The backpack, the parachute is on the back here. And now, otters, they have the otter tails, right? It's like a big, we don't have otters in Australia, so I didn't really grow up with them. Um, but they do have those long sort of tails like this. That they sort of flapping behind. And they have a similar, they have these like whiskers as well. Otters always have these long whiskers, you know, when they're those videos of them on their back playing with their food with the fish. They always look so funny. Here's the ripcord. Actually, this week, the National Cartoonist Society had Sergio Aragonés do a video. He was sharing his process and his life and his studio and everything on a live Zoom. It was incredible. I think he's such a great cartoonist. He's easily the fastest cartoonist I think I've ever seen. But yeah, anyone who read Mad Magazine growing up knows who Sergio is. And you can see, I think there might be a replay they post of it on the YouTube channel. But yeah, that was really special this week, getting to see Sergio and hearing him talk about his process. Uh, yeah, he's a pretty special guy. Here's the plane in the background, silhouetted against the sun. Twin engine? Sure. And another otter here. Otters are great. They've got really good faces. I like the if I were to draw one sort of more accurately, it would probably be more like this. You know, they still have those funny teeth, but they're very cute. I think they're a very cute animal. They have those little hands, those tiny little hands and feet. Almost like a dinosaur. Now that I think about it. Anyway, there we go. Thank you for that request. That is the final request for this week's Draw Me Anything, number 6. Thank you very, very much, Curtis. I will get to your request next week, next Thursday, 3 p.m. Uh, I believe they call them water dogs. That makes sense. Thank you again. I'm just going to flip the camera. Thank you again for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please tell your friends. If you aren't subscribed to my Substack, it's just newyorkcartoons.com. Just one word, newyorkcartoons.com. I post every week, both for free and for paid subscribers. These live streams are free, but the replays are behind the paywall. And please share them with your friends. If you have anyone who likes cartoons or likes dogs, share with them. But I will see you all next Thursday, 3 p.m. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your suggestions, and I'll see you then. Bye.